Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick, illustrator for Gina K Designs, and I'm so grateful you could join me today. I have something a little different for you today. This is a monochromatic kind of color palette card using a really simple design, some really simple stamping, and a whole lot of Gina K inks to create this fun card. So I'm going to be using just a few of the stamps from my Today and Always stamp set, and I'm going to let that Ranunculus stamp set, which is that really tight flower, kind of be the star of the show. And I'm crossing over with my Just a Little stamp set here to grab, I don't know, I might be grabbing a sentiment, I might be grabbing some florals. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So we're just going to, I just kind of wanted to see if I'm going to mix mash it together. So I just grabbed another stamp set. I've got some of my clear embossing powder, and here's the color palette that I'm going to be working with for the Gina K Designs line. I'm going to be using Ocean Mist and Tranquil Teal. Tranquil Teal is a magical color. I seem to be using it a lot lately. Okay, I have a piece of Gina K Designs layering white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I also have the piece of turquoise sea cut to an A2 size card. The Gina K Designs cardstock is really amazing. I love it. I love the weight of it, but I am just going to be using that white piece of cardstock for the layering piece. And I have one of these blending brushes from Picket Studios called the Life Changing Blending Brush. Yeah, I'm pretty challenged when it comes to sponge daubers and big sponge daubers. I always seem to use too much color, so I thought I would give this a go and see if I can improve my skills. Okay, so here are some of the other tools I have. I have some Connect glue, some pop dots, because we are going to pop up that floral image here, and I have some scissors because I'm going to be doing a little bit of fussy cutting. So I'm just going to start out working light to dark with the Ocean Mist and the big daisy floral and just kind of stamping that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink up again using the other floral, the more solid floral image from the Today and Always stamp set. And I'm just inking that up over on the side here just to kind of take a peek at whether or not I'm going to like that color combination. And of course I do. So I inked it up again and just kind of gave the stamp a quarter turn to just stamp on top of that Ocean Mist. And just go ahead and fussy cut that out. So I do have digital die cut files on my website that are companion to the Today and Always stamp set. So you can, I'll link that up so that you can get that download for free. I have SVG files and a couple different files for different digital die cutters. Okay, so moving on, I've got the Ranunculus Stamp, which is that really nice tight closed flower, and we're going to use that as the star of the show on this card. So I've got my Versamark pad, and yes, it's a little well loved, but that's okay, it still works. I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up with Versamark and create this kind of angular pattern and overlapping the images a little bit. And yeah, I've got the ink there. I'm just going to go ahead and open up my embossing powder. And this is my clear embossing powder, my Gina K Designs clear embossing powder. And I'm just kind of getting that on there and just tapping off any kind of extra. See a little spot there that needed a little bit more. Just tapping off any extra, and I don't mind if there's some loose stray embossing powder. I just kind of like that spattery look that you get when you've got a little extra rogue embossing powder just kind of laying around. Okay, so I'm heating up my heat tool before I take it to the cardstock so I don't scorch the paper, because I've been known to do that. And lo and behold, friends, I thought that I was using the clear embossing powder, and it turns out that I was using the bright white embossing powder. And that's okay. I'm rolling with it because I think that I'm going to like this even better than the clear. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Tranquil Teal and just go ahead and rub this life-changing blender brush. I love that. I love how they call it that. The life-changing blender brush. Because for me, it kind of is. It really kind of works like way better than I am with the sponge daubers. So I'm giving it a go, and this is my first go with this, so I'm just brand new to using this new tool. And I really like the idea of gently going into the paper with this blending brush. I've used sponge daubers before, and I always seem to kind of hit that paper a little more aggressively and end up with all these little unwanted blotches of color. So this brush is really fun. You can just kind of dab it into your ink, and it really does pick up that ink very quickly. The brush is very dense, and I'm kind of digging it. And you can see that it's really that Tranquil Teal on that turquoise sea cardstock is a really great combination, and it's really kind of making that ranunculus flower pop. And that's really what I wanted to do. I'm getting a little heavy-handed here in a couple spots, but I'm blending it out okay. So for me, this little brush was fun, and I was kind of impressed with the results that I got. I've got that soft look and feel, and what I'm really digging about doing this on the turquoise sea paper is that you can see some of the white that is embedded in the paper coming through that ink. Yeah, I just get geeky about discovered finds that happen when you try different techniques. So I'm loving that, and I'm loving the pop of the ranunculus. So now I'm going to go in and just use a little tissue just to kind of wipe off that excess color that is laying on top of that embossed piece, just so that that color will pop. So you can see that it wasn't clear embossing powder like I thought, but it is white, and I'm kind of digging it. I like it better. So I'm going to do some over stamping now to create that extra layer. So again, we're creating 3 layered looks here on 1 layered card. We've got the embossing, we've got the color that's that was brushed on with the brush, and now I'm laying on top of all of that another added layer of the Ranunculus stamp with the Tranquil Teal. And it really does make the darks and the lights kind of pop, and you've got a lot of movement here in the design and the pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe away all that little bit of excess overlap. So it looks like I also masked this project together, which, you know, I didn't. But using that embossing technique, you kind of get that look and feel. And I just love this movement that we've got going on with this pattern. There's so much pop, pop, pop. I just love it. Okay, so you get a nice little close-up view here, and you can see that it's still 1 layer, but we've got that illusion of 3 layers of texture happening in this 1 layer card. And that kind of stuff just kind of makes me excited because it looks like a multi-technique card, and it really came together like super, super simple. Okay, so I'm just taking a look at the sentiments from the Just a Little stamp set, and I've got that flower that I cut out just kind of in position to where I think it'll just kind of be a nice additional element to the card. And I've grabbed the Thinking of You from that stamp set, and I'm going to ink that up with the Tranquil Teal and just nest that right there in that lower right hand corner, and just get it on the card right there in the front, 1 pass with the color, and just kind of laying that in so it's in a really nice spot right there in the lower right hand corner. We've got all that movement with the pattern of the flowers. We've got that nice little flower dimension laying on top, and it really just adds another just extra little something. So I'm just going to grab some pop dots and just put a couple on the back here and lay it right there in that little spot that I had above the Thinking of You sentiment, just to kind of finish off this card. So we've got this little layer, so I just kind of keep twisting it around to see where it kind of feels good and where I think it just will pop and just add a little extra dimension there. And I am loving this. Okay, so I added a little extra something to the center there. I went back and grabbed that Nouveau water brush that I have that has that mica in it for a little extra shimmer, and moving around that Tranquil Teal color a little bit more. It kind of intensifies the depth of that color, and I am digging it. Okay, so here's another look at the color palette. Super simple. Tranquil Teal and Ocean Mist, and I'm really loving this card, and I'm usually adverse to doing these kind of techniques, but I think it came out really, really well. So I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. Please consider sharing the joy by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.